This is another great potato side dish for any meal. I'm Tess, and tonight I'm making creamy Gruyere cheese au gratin potatoes with meatloaf and a side of Harvard beets. I'll show you step by step how to make these easy, delicious, and comforting potatoes. With Thanksgiving and the holiday season here, this creamy au gratin potatoes is a great side dish that you can stick in the oven along with your other dishes. This recipe is real easy to make, and everyone seems to love them. I have 4 large russet potatoes that I peeled and thinly sliced to about 1/8 of an inch thick. I have the potatoes in cold water so they don't turn brown, and then when I'm ready, I will drain them through a colander. Let's make the cheesy sauce. In my pan on medium heat, I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of butter, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of finely diced onions, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, bringing that up to a simmer and cooking for a minute. I'm making a roux, so I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, cooking and stirring for a minute or 2. Now I'm turning my heat up to a medium-high and slowly adding in about 1½ cups of milk. I'm adding the milk in batches, stirring and bringing up to a simmer in between. The sauce will thicken. Just a reminder that I will leave the recipe and the list of ingredients for this creamy Gruyere cheese au gratin potatoes below this video. Also remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video recipe, and click the bell to make sure you receive notification of all my future video recipes. Now for the cheese. I'm turning my heat off and adding in 8 ounces of grated Gruyere Swiss cheese, giving that a good stir until all the cheese is melted. This smells so good, and this is what you're looking for. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm making meatloaf, and I can be baking the potatoes and meatloaf at the same time, which is really convenient. The meatloaf is my copycat Cracker Barrel meatloaf recipe with some hard-boiled eggs stuffed inside. If you would like to see that video recipe, I will leave a link here and in the Show More section below. It is one of my favorite go-to recipes. I have a greased baking dish, and I'm layering with potatoes and seasoning with just a little salt. Not much because the cheese has a lot of salt. I'm grating over some Parmesan cheese and then pouring over about half of my sauce and spreading out to the edges. And I'm just going to repeat this layer, ending with the sauce on top. This is going into a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven for a total of 1 hour. After 30 minutes of cooking, I'm going to sprinkle the top with a handful or about 1/4 cup of grated Gruyere cheese. Then I'm popping it back into the oven and baking for another 30 minutes or until the top is golden brown and bubbly. The meatloaf is coming along nicely. I'm basting the top with my barbecue sauce, and this is going back into the oven. I started the Harvard beets, and they are looking delicious. Everything is smelling so good. The Gruyere cheese au gratin potatoes are done and piping hot. I'm decorating the top with some parsley and letting them cool off for about 15 minutes, and that will give me time to get everything ready. Some would call these scalloped potatoes, but to me, since they have cheese, they are more au gratin potatoes. I do have plans to make some scalloped potatoes, so please stay tuned for that video recipe. This is such an easy potato side dish to make. I love the cheesy sauce. Potatoes and Gruyere cheese are such a great combination. The potatoes are tender, and that sauce is so delicious and comforting. I'm serving with meatloaf and Harvard beets, but these au gratin potatoes would go with any meal. A real nice addition to the holiday table. I hope you give these creamy grilled cheese and gratin potatoes a try and enjoy. I'm wishing you all a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and there is truly a lot to be thankful for. If you like this video recipe, please hit the like and subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe to make sure that you get my future video recipes. You can also find me on Facebook and at my website. Feel free to share this recipe and my channel with your friends and family. And until next time, much love!